This everyday habit is secretly spiking your cortisol. What if one of the biggest reasons you feel tired, unmotivated, anxious, and constantly stressed has nothing to do with your job, your sleep, or even your diet? What if the real issue is something you do every single morning before your body even fully wakes up? And the worst part? You probably think it's completely harmless. In fact, millions of people repeat this habit every single day without ever connecting it to their hormones, their energy, or their mental health. But emerging research suggests this simple routine may be quietly increasing cortisol levels and putting your body into a stress response before your day has even begun. Hi, I'm Dr. Elena Quinn, and today we're going to break down a habit that seems small but may have a much bigger impact on your energy, focus, mood, and long-term health than most people realize. Let's get into it. Cortisol is often called the stress hormone, but that label is incomplete. Cortisol is a steroid hormone produced by the adrenal glands located above the kidneys. Commonly known as the stress hormone, it is released by the body in response to physical or psychological stress to provide immediate energy. Its primary functions are 1. Metabolic regulation. It mobilizes sugars, glucose, fats, and proteins to support the body. 2. Blood pressure control. It acts on the cardiovascular system and regulates blood pressure. 3. Immune response. It modulates inflammatory processes and immune defenses. Because cortisol is not your enemy. In fact, you need it to survive. Your body depends on cortisol for several essential functions. It helps you wake up in the morning, it regulates blood sugar, it supports immune activity, and it plays a key role in maintaining energy balance throughout the day. Without cortisol, your body wouldn't function properly. The real issue is not cortisol itself, it's dysregulation. When cortisol is too high at the wrong time or stays elevated for too long, that's when problems begin. And those problems don't always show up immediately. They build slowly over time. You might feel it as constant fatigue or a sense of being wired but tired. You might notice anxiety without a clear reason, or cravings for sugar, caffeine, or fast energy, or even difficulty focusing, even after a full night of sleep. And many people don't realize it. But one of the strongest triggers for this dysregulation may happen in the first few minutes of the day. Let's talk about the habit. For most people, the moment they wake up, the first instinct is simple. Reach for the phone. Before getting out of bed, before drinking water, before sunlight, before movement. They start scrolling, emails, messages, news, social media, notifications, work updates, stressful information, and it feels automatic, almost harmless. But your brain is not passive during this moment. It is highly reactive. Because the second you introduce stimulation, your nervous system starts processing it immediately. And this matters more than most people think. Your brain doesn't distinguish between important information and emotional stress input at the moment of waking. It just reacts. And that reaction activates your stress circuitry. Now here's what's important. Your body already has a natural morning cortisol cycle. This is called the cortisol awakening response. It's completely normal. In fact, it's essential. Cortisol naturally rises in the first 30-45 minutes after waking. This helps you feel alert, focused, and ready to engage with the day. But there's a key difference between a healthy cortisol rise and a stress-amplified rise. A healthy rise is gradual, balanced, predictable. A stress-amplified rise happens when your brain receives emotional overload immediately upon waking, and that can include information overload, negative news, work pressure, social comparison, or constant decision-making demands. When this happens, your nervous system doesn't just wake up, it shifts into alert mode, and for some people, It shifts too fast, too early, too intensely. Now, you might not feel this as stress in the traditional sense. You might just think, I'm fine, I'm just tired. But what's actually happening is more subtle. Your brain is spending energy before your body has fully recovered from sleep. So instead of starting the day with clarity, you start the day already slightly depleted. And that has consequences. Later in the morning, you may feel a drop in energy. You may reach for caffeine earlier than usual. You may feel mentally scattered or emotionally reactive to small things. And over time, this pattern can contribute to a baseline state of chronic low-grade stress. Now, let's be very clear. This is not about fear, and it is not about perfection. Checking your phone in the morning is not going to destroy your health, but your pattern matters more than any single action. Because your nervous system learns through repetition, it adapts, it reinforces what you consistently do. So if your first daily input is urgency, stimulation, and external pressure, your brain begins to expect that state. And over time, that can subtly shift your baseline stress response. But this is where the good news comes in, because this is one of the easiest patterns to improve. You don't need a complicated morning routine. You don't need a perfect lifestyle. You just need a small delay. Even 10 to 20 minutes without your phone can make a measurable difference in how your day begins. Here's what that can look like. When you wake up, don't reach for your phone. Instead, start with something physical and simple. Drink a glass of water. Rehydrate your body after sleep. Then expose yourself to natural light. Even a few minutes near a window helps regulate your internal clock. If possible, step outside. Morning sunlight is one of the strongest signals for your circadian rhythm. Then move your body gently, stretching, walking, even just standing and breathing slowly. This sends a different signal to your nervous system. Instead of reactive mode, your body begins in regulation mode, and that difference is powerful over time. Now let's zoom out again. Because cortisol is not influenced by one habit alone, it is shaped by your entire lifestyle. Sleep quality plays a major role. If you are consistently sleeping less than 6-7 hours, cortisol regulation becomes harder. Caffeine also matters, especially when consumed too early or in excess. Chronic multitasking keeps your brain in a constant alert state. Lack of physical activity reduces stress resilience, and even poor nutrition can amplify hormonal imbalance over time. So the goal is not to fix one thing, it's to reduce cumulative stress load. Now here's the key insight most people miss. Your body is not trying to stay stressed, it's trying to adapt. It's constantly responding to your environment. So the question is not, how do I eliminate stress completely? That's impossible. The real question is, how do I stop creating unnecessary stress every single day? And for many people, the morning phone habit is one of the biggest hidden contributors. So let's bring it all together. If you often feel tired even after sleeping, anxious for no clear reason, mentally overloaded early in the day, or dependent on caffeine just to feel normal, then your issue may not be lack of discipline. It may be how your day starts, because the first 10 minutes of your morning set the tone for everything that follows. Not perfectly, but significantly. If you take one thing from this video, let it be this. Don't let your first input of the day be stress. Give your brain a moment to wake up without pressure. Because sometimes the difference between a stressful day and a balanced one starts before you even check your phone. If you found this helpful, subscribe for more science-based health insights designed to help you improve energy, focus, and long-term well-being. And on screen now, you'll find another video that breaks down a second hidden habit that could be quietly affecting your hormones, sleep, and metabolism. I'm Dr. Elena Quinn, and I'll see you in the next one.